Have you ever stopped to think about the power your thoughts have over your life? Many people live trapped in a cycle of negativity, believing they will never be able to change their realities. But what if I told you that God has a plan to completely transform your life, starting with your thoughts? This statement may seem bold, but the Bible is filled with promises that reveal how change begins in the mind. When you align your thoughts with God's, something incredible happens. Fears dissipate, dreams take shape, and peace replaces anxiety. Get ready to discover how to reprogram your mind in a practical and spiritual way, allowing God to transform your life from the inside out. The renewal of the mind is a powerful invitation that God gives us in Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This calling serves as a compass for those who wish to align their thoughts and decisions with divine truth. Think for a moment. How often are your daily thoughts shaped by external opinions, fears, or social standards? God's proposal is simple, yet profound. Instead of allowing society to dictate who you are, He calls us to reprogram our minds through His Word, letting it guide us with wisdom and purpose. The human mind is like fertile soil, ready to receive the seeds you choose to plant. Imagine that each thought is a seed. What are you sowing? Thoughts of fear, doubt, or failure produce a bitter harvest. But when you choose to plant faith, hope, and love, the fruits are abundant and transformative. How about a practical example? Upon waking up, instead of checking your phone, take 2 minutes to thank God for something good in your life. This small practice already serves as a way to cultivate a healthier mental soil. Romans 12:2 also teaches us that this transformation is continuous, a daily and intentional practice. Just as soil needs constant care, our minds also require attention to flourish. This means replacing negative thoughts with biblical promises. If you often think, "I'll never be able to do this," try declaring, "I can do all things through Him who strengthens me." Philippians 4:13. The power of words, when grounded in spiritual truth, is like water that nourishes dry soil, bringing life where there was once desolation. This renewal goes beyond just thinking positively. It is a spiritual transformation. It connects the mind to the heart, aligning both with God's purposes. Imagine the peace that invades your life when you let go of anxieties and resentments, replacing them with trust and serenity. When you understand that God is the source of all strength and wisdom, your perspective shifts, and here begins another journey. How to apply this new way of thinking to cultivate thoughts that bring strength and true peace. The human mind can be compared to a field that needs to be cultivated with care and intention. Positive thoughts are like quality seeds, ready to sprout and produce fruits that impact not only the individual, but also everyone around them. Imagine a farmer who carefully chooses what to plant in his land. He knows that if he sows low-quality seeds, his harvest will be compromised. In the same way, God invites us to plant seeds of faith, hope, and positivity in our daily thoughts, eliminating the weeds of doubt and fear. To cultivate these thoughts, it is essential to be mindful of what feeds the mind. Inspirational readings, uplifting music, and even meaningful conversations with friends can be compared to nutrients for the soil. A practical example is starting the day with a Bible verse such as Philippians 4:8, which encourages us to think about what is true, pure, and admirable. Additionally, creating a gratitude list can help replace negative thoughts with a more optimistic and spiritual outlook. Just as a farmer works daily in his field, we must constantly care for our minds. This includes identifying toxic thoughts and replacing them with spiritual truths. When doubts arise, "Am I capable?" Remember Isaiah 41:10. "Do not fear, for I am with you." These words act like tools that remove obstacles from the path, allowing faith to flourish in previously barren ground. And what happens when this mental field is well cared for? The fruits of positivity, such as peace, joy, and confidence, begin to overflow. This overflow not only benefits you, but also inspires those around you to do the same. As these fruits grow, the connection with the divine purpose deepens, preparing the ground for even greater spiritual growth. The daily practice of renewing the mind is like a sacred ritual that brings us closer to God's truth. Imagine waking up each morning with a clear purpose, to align your thoughts with God's plans. This does not happen by chance, but requires intentionality. Start by setting aside a moment each day to meditate on biblical passages. Choose verses like Jeremiah 29:11, which reminds us of God's plans to give us a hopeful future. These moments become anchors in the storms of life. Renewal also happens through the repetition of small actions that transform our mindset. Think about simple habits, such as writing down positive thoughts or prayers in a journal. This physical act helps reinforce spiritual truths in the mind. For example, if a negative thought arises, "I'm not good enough," right next to it, "God created me uniquely and wonderfully," Psalm 139:14. This daily exercise strengthens spiritual awareness and pushes away the lies the world tries to impose on us. Another important aspect is communion with God through prayer. Talking to God is more than a routine. It is an opportunity to open your heart and receive divine guidance. A practical example is creating a list of specific prayers and tracking how God answers each one. This not only renews the mind, but also strengthens faith and positivity. The more we connect with God, the more clearly we hear His voice amid the chaos. This transformation also reflects in our relationships. A mind renewed by the Spirit helps us react with patience, forgiveness, and compassion, even in difficult situations. Remember Jesus forgiving on the cross, the ultimate example of unconditional love. We can apply this in our lives by choosing to forgive those who have hurt us, knowing that in doing so, we free our hearts to be filled with God's peace. And now, what will you do with all that you have learned? God offers you a unique opportunity to transform your mind and consequently, your entire life. How about starting today? Set aside a few minutes to reflect on the thoughts that have dominated your mind. Are they thoughts of hope and faith or of doubt and fear? Transformation begins with small choices, such as seeking God's guidance in prayer or meditating on His promises. Choose to declare every day that you trust in Him and that your thoughts are aligned with His word. Remember, change is not instant, but every step counts. Replace anxiety with peace, fear with trust, and doubt with the certainty that God is in control. How about sharing this journey with others? Talking about how God has worked in your life can inspire others to do the same. If you've made it this far, I want to sincerely thank you. Your search for God is not in vain, and every step you take toward Him transforms your life. I hope this message has strengthened your faith and renewed your hope. Remember, God always has something greater for you. Keep seeking, keep praying, keep growing spiritually. If this word touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you're not yet part of our community, subscribe to the channel to continue this journey of wisdom and spiritual growth. May God bless you abundantly, stay in peace, and I'll see you in the next video. Amen.